It's day 25 of my As a Bag of Hammers playthrough of Encased with my beautiful idiot here. We're on our way to the observation deck in Nashville, but on the way, some Wolpers have decided to let us test out Fox's new Psy gloves. That is not how I wanted the first impression to go. That's also not too impressive. Psy gloves have always been bit of a letdown. I get that they don't require ammo and you can get different ones for every potential damage type, but they really don't do much in the way of damage. Like, really not at all. I should be getting Fox further up into the fight because her sword does huge damage. I mean, what was that? 3 times the damage from a dart gun? Of course, a dart gun does use ammo, but the dart gun ammo is so common, it might as well not require ammo at all. What I should do while it's fresh in my mind, Eiley doesn't need to be wearing that relic anymore. Well, that wasn't bad, a 200-point crit. That's a little bit of a redemption for the side glove. The second beacon location is on top of the observation deck, which is in the middle of, I don't know, a tsunami of some sort. We will deploy the beacon here as well. The last location is the Magellan parking lot, and it looks like we are going to get a fight in said parking lot. Well, 162, I mean, that's a lot more than it said it was going to do. And it drops it. Maybe this glove is more of a crit glove? Did that hyena seriously just shoot me with a beanbag? Aunt Yoko? Well, I'm willing to take out some bigger guns for these guys. Let's shoot the beanbag guy for 136 and drop him for 140. Nice. Skip turn, save that AP, and Eiley, where is Eiley? So if I move to about here, let's see if I can jump the rest of the way. I can. So what I'll do is I'll do the wrestling stance first. And I was hoping for more damage than that, but that was quite the move that I got out of it first. Let's see if we get more impressive results with this glove. That's huge. Okay, I am impressed. This guy seems to have some sort of psi field around him. What happens if I shoot him? Another crit?
We should be wary of these sorcerers.
These guys are dropping status effects on us, which means I'm not going to have to bother healing afterwards. You'll go dart gun this thing. I think that's a poison attack, isn't it? Yes, well, it's a very weak poison attack. Drop one on him too. That was probably not worth it. Okay, so we get 3 hits with the big thing. Oh right, this thing does energy damage, that's right. So maybe I should have tried mechanical damage against these. Hey buddy, get involved, thank you. Fox, can you end this fight right here? Not quite. Dude, you don't need to mark the target, just shoot it. See? Like that. That's all it took. And Yoko put the gun away. You love to walk around with a gun out. Well, we've yet to hear from any of these guys saying that they mind it. I imagine the reason no one's telling the little robo-kid to put away the gigantic gun is because it's a little robo-kid with a giant gun. And maybe you wouldn't turn to someone like that and tell them to do anything. Should be the final beacon. Right here, yep. And naturally, being at Magellan, I am going to go and have a look at the stores again. You never know. Well, I've secured the trucks, the funding, I've cleared the areas, I got the beacons, I got the beacon protectors, and I've placed them. I think we're ready to get this started. Well, Henrietta, you are going to be happy to see me.
Russo briefly looks up from the monitor.
That beacon network is working. Come down to the emulator and, I don't know, shoo Maelstrom away from the third beacon. No clue how you're going to do it, but you get the general idea, right?
I'm gonna crawl away like a small crab and go have a chat with Maelstrom. So without further ado,
You are once again enveloped in white light, shimmering, dense, and sparkling like snow. But the maelstrom itself feels different now. The rotation is fast, jagged, and furious. You can barely maintain your grip. It's also difficult to control it. The connection is weak, and all you manage to do is to reduce the harmful psi radiation to a minimum in the place where Russo planned to camp. Your interaction with the maelstrom ends at that. The thin line of control slips out of your hands, cutting off the connection. The white space around shrinks rapidly into a dense, gleaming point and disappears. You are thrown out of the session. Lying on a warm metal floor, you slowly regain consciousness.
so I suppose we're gonna continue to gloss over the significant ethical questions about having a character such as mine handling equipment such as this.
Yoko stops cleaning her rifle and waves cheerfully at you.
Senpai!
Wink at Yoko and tell her you need a hell of a killer robot on your side to take down Maelstrom.
The robo-girl raises her glowing eyes to you.
Senpai, new committee inventory does not include a killer robot, but if you need my help, I am ready.
Ah! Scream like Tarzan and move away.
Let's begin our scientific mission, Senpai.
Fox seems surprisingly thoughtful, so much so that you can easily tell that even through the mask.
I heard you talking to Maelstrom. We'll go straight to it, right?
She looks at you with sore eyes.
Scratch your ear and tell her you should go see Maelstrom together.
Daria snorts and shrinks.
When did we
into
find out her
herself.
name?
She is clearly not very comfortable with this idea.
Great.
She answers after some hesitation.
Away while yelling out the parts of the alphabet you know.
I'm coming with you. And with your robot.
So, I guess Henrietta has already headed off there? Before I go there, I'm actually going to check that because I don't want to have to head back. So, according to the mission log, we are indeed headed straight for Maelstrom. Let's have one last chat with this Rebecca Dreisler here, see if anything actually came of me becoming the mayor of this town.
Forgot something?
Hello, Mayor. Ask what's going to happen next. A lot of paperwork. And you still just have one sheet of paper.
Good
Okay,
luck.
so apparently me being mayor had no consequence whatsoever. And off we go to the desert near Concord. If you recall, Concord was the name of the facility that we started the game in. Well, after going to one last trader before reaching the desert near Concord, who I bought some medkit fortes off of, let's see what this zone has for us. So we've come full circle. We've returned to the place where we started the game. We're gonna have a chat with pretty much everyone. Start with, I didn't catch his name. Employee, come closer. Some pale silver standing on the side of the road is calling you. He points to a path that goes uphill. My colleague and I were asked to meet you. People from the church and the phalanx want to talk to you. Surely they've... A gust of wind carries a cadaverous smell from the direction of the nearest truck. Silver becomes silent and grows even paler. Cheer up, kitty cat. So there's dead bodies around. That's not a good start. And here they are. Okay, so they aren't fresh at least. But this guy's digging up caskets apparently. Or is he digging them up or is he burying these things? Here's hoping he's burying them. Or she is. A large middle-aged woman in a protective suit is moving a scanner over the decayed body of some employee. Having finished, she slams the lid of the coffin and moves on to the next corpse lying in a box with its arms outstretched along its body. Laugh and move away. So it sounds like she's actually taking them out. Did I misunderstand that? That sounds like she's taking them out as opposed to putting them in. What is our way up? We'll go up this way. What I do need to be on the lookout for is a personal box here because there are going to be a lot of people to trade with, and I don't want to have to go back and forth to my truck. Although I think actually I already have all my stuff with me, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Come on. Let's go.
My sensors are picking up increased radio frequency activity. There is a powerful transmitter running in the Phalanx camp.
Mental note. Okay, we have Dawn Spencer, and here's Zemeckis, and they have the Cristo Redemptor on a chair that they're gonna play cards with, I guess. Let's talk to Dawn Spencer. I mean, he doesn't talk much, but
Hey there. Spencer nods at you indifferently.
does he trade? Nope. Boo 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 ba 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 and bounce away like a ball. All right, Zemeckis, you've come to meet us here. That was nice of you.
The Phalanx camp is militarily ascetic, but even it bears some semblance of comfort. A table with a lamp and some documents is standing by the fire, and a golden statue of Christ is sitting in a chair nearby.
It was worthy of mentioning.
Zemeckis himself is reclining in another chair,
No, he's not.
sipping peacefully at his tea from a small cup. The head of the Phalanx is cautiously friendly.
I honestly have no idea what to think about you. At first, it seemed you wanted to help us out, but then you cooked up such a mess that my people are working day and night trying to fix it. If it wasn't for that, there was something important I would have asked of you.
Oh, I so regret not helping you earlier. I couldn't do more favors for you.
Never mind, though. Something needs to be done with Maelstrom. But I doubt it would interest you.
He smiles slyly, clearly trying to guess your reaction. He looks at Maelstrom swirling in the distance.
I want to tame this huge thing, so it serves Phalanx and all mankind. And only you can help.
Zemeckis shifts the flap of his coat aside, revealing a gun tucked into his belt and a small knife on his thigh. But instead of reaching for a weapon, Hieronymus produces a small device from his pocket. It looks like a modified relic. The Phalanx leader places the device in your palm and pats your arm encouragingly.
I'll make this simple. This thing is a walkie-talkie. It will let Maelstrom talk to us. Get close to Maelstrom and toss it into the very center. Then, the entity will reveal all its secrets to us.
Their smile slowly fades.
I won't manipulate you, but I will say that this is very, very important. Do you believe me?
No, not really, not at all.
Throw it at Maelstrom, and I will provide a luxurious future for you.
I do believe that. I do believe he would actually remunerate me. But I think that would come at the expense of everyone else. What I didn't think to do, though, is, you have all these books, you might as well use them. I have my influence at 120 out of 150. Why not just shove that right over 150? We have 5 of these. Let's mow down 2 of them. First off, because these last a while, an hour. So I can basically talk to everyone here.
Zemeckis smiles and raises his cup in greeting.
I wish you knew how tired I am of feigning friendliness with all those people. Thankfully, you are here. And that makes me happy, as usual. Cup of tea? It's sweet. Try it.
So now we can pass this intimidation check. We'll look towards Maelstrom, frown, and shake our fist at it.
Zemeckis bursts out laughing.
You definitely don't like Maelstrom. But believe me, I know how to make it into a useful tool for all of us. You want to kick Maelstrom's butt? I thought so.
Zemeckis shifts the flap of his coat aside, revealing a gun tucked into his belt. Bursting into laughter, Hieronymus wags a finger at you.
I know you're behind these shenanigans. Just before you got here, the transmitter was safely in my pocket.
I think you just gave it
The
to me.
leader of the phalanx pats you reassuringly on the arm.
I'll explain it so you can understand. The thing that you stole, the radio, will help make...
Their
Okay, so it doesn't
smile
sound like
slowly.
I'm getting any new information out of him. Although, it is kind of funny that he thinks I stole it from him, forgetting that he literally just handed it to me. But yeah, you see, books last for an hour, which, you burn through that real quick when you're traveling. But in Encased, I don't know if I mentioned this before, when you're in a town, time goes by at, well, real time. So you have, well, not literally all the time in the world, but you can dawdle in town. You don't have to worry about the clock while you're doing your errands. So the only people who are worse than the totalitarians, we have these lovely folks. We'll talk to the
Those
Reverend.
red people smell weird.
Reverend Santiago's ever-present smile vanishes when he sees you.
On behalf of the church, I'm warning you. The ruins of Concord can be a rather dangerous place.
Expecting to get a bit more out of you than that, but we'll bug out our eyes in fear. Who the hell is, or better, what the hell is...
The holographic old-timer glides toward you in his
Didn't
robes,
I see you
keen
in one of
eyes
the
fixed on
telegraph
you.
things?
You did us a lot of harm. It doesn't matter to me whether it was intentional or just plain stupidity.
It was both.
I'm not going to give you another chance, but here's some advice. Don't go to Concord. It won't end well.
Yeah, screw you, buddy. How about Amalia Reynolds?
Greetings.
That's quite the hair you got there. Judging by the bearing and numerous chevrons on the uniform, this is one of the senior administrators of the new committee. The curly red-haired woman decisively stops you with a powerful gesture. Amelia Reynolds, Silverwing. I'm to report that new committee, picnic, and Carmine Heights camps are set up on this side of the highway. She looks closely into your face as if doubting that she was heard. Move away without averting your gaze. That's not all. Fops have been sighted even further on the outskirts. No idea what they're doing here. Obviously they are waiting for you. Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. Silently move away. So it looks like the gang's all here. We'll do this sequentially. Who do we have first?
So many liars and scoundrels in one place.
Senpai, my social algorithm advises you to think very carefully before you go there. And before deciding not to go, too.
Well, I'm gonna talk to them. Doesn't mean I'm gonna do what they tell me to do, but I'm gonna talk to them. Okay, so this is a gun shop. Finally, we're seeing some real stuff here. So of all of this, realistically, we could probably only take... Jeez, I was about to say like a sniper rifle. That looks more like a railgun or something. But I'm not about to replace Yoko's gun, especially since that takes rifle rounds. Yeah, I'd have to buy a whole bunch of rifle rounds and... Ooh, that's a cool looking machine gun as well. Yeah, we're not buying anything from him, but it's cool to know it's there. Now, judging by what Yoko said, what I am going to do is assume that maybe there's a fight coming. So we'll put Yoko out here. And Fox... Where is Fox? There we go. You know, Fox looks an awful lot like me these days. Have Fox right next to me. And Nakamura... Are we about to fight?
Nakamura has been waiting for you, arms folded, cold, and straight-backed as ever.
You're here. Excellent. Sit and don't touch anything. Not even me. And not yourself either, please.
Well, glad you clarified.
She releases an exasperated sigh.
What the hell? You're the only person we know of who can get close to Maelstrom, yet you always mess it up. I was going to send you on an important mission, but now I'm doubtful. How can I trust you with anything more complicated than tying your shoelaces?
Well, I have slip-ons, but that's beside the point. We'll demonstrate our ability to undertake difficult tasks by wrapping our legs around our neck.
You're as agile as a monkey, and unfortunately about as intelligent. But this can still work if you're properly motivated. Yes.
Nakamura snaps her fingers, quite pleased with herself, and leans closer to you.
The new committee has been and remains the most important force under the dome, because we control everything. Do you want to continue being a well-known, important citizen? Just do this little job for me, and no one will ever look at you askance again.
With that, she crawls under the table and produces a kind of briefcase.
You know, the more people seem to know who I am, the more they want me to do things for them. So this whole being well known and influential, not the selling point you seem to think it is.
Inside is a helmet, bristling with sensors and wires. The chairwoman pushes the case toward you.
Here's what you're going to do. Carry this thing to Maelstrom and turn the dial on its side until you hear radio interference. That means you've set the device to Maelstrom's broadcast frequency. Come back here when you're done and bring the helmet back too. Everything clear? Fine. I hope you can manage.
Were you planning on telling me what it's going to do? Because I'm very inclined to just say, no.
Kimiko scowls her contempt.
You'll have to say yes if you want to keep fooling around at the government's expense. Time is running out. Make up your mind.
Wink at Kimiko and move away. Well, it looks like she's managed to shove the helmet into my pocket anyway. One of the early prototypes, the emulator user interface, portable but unstable and dangerous. In fact, it is a two-way brainwave decoder combined with a radio transmitter. There's a special toggle switch on the side of the helmet that enhances the power of the incoming signal. A nearby red sticker warns that excessive increase in signal strength can be hazardous to the operator. So, without rereading that and double-checking and all that, my initial take on that is that it will allow whoever is wearing it to remotely control Maelstrom, and there is no way in hell I'm giving a device like that that's tuned back to Nakamura. Yeah, seriously, if she wanted me to, she didn't have to be a dick the entire time.
Oh, the strange one. Well, hello. You see, it's not like I don't trust you, but your attempts to help the picnic are so-so. So, try not to help us anymore, okay?
Audrey, dressed in her usual blue uniform, offers her hand in a businesslike manner.
What is she unhappy about? I thought I did everything Picnic wanted.
You pick up a rusty nail from the ground and begin furiously hammering it into the chair next to the fire. Audrey raises a hand in protest.
Hey, stop breaking the furniture. I get it. You want to help. Here's what you can do. Go to Maelstrom and tell it things will be better if the dome was run like Picnic. Neither Maelstrom nor the dome belongs to the committee or the phalanx.
See, I can get behind that.
She squeezes your fingers.
I'm asking you to do it for me. It's the right thing to do.
I would agree. I mean, I'm not saying that they should necessarily run things, but them or Carmine Heights, they seem... Whoa. Okay, so she's got some decent stuff. It's probably all stuff that I sold her. Even if I disagree with their premises, them and Carmine Heights seem to be democratic free societies. And, you know, I may not like what the people in democratic free societies in various places around the world decide to do with their democratic free societies. I'll still take a democratic society full of idiots over an authoritarian society. It's an unfortunate aspect of modern life that you have to make that choice, but it is what it is. Henrietta, what would you like me to do with this thing?
Henrietta, dressed in a white Wingfield uniform, greets you with a mocking salute.
Hello, employee. You know I'm fond of telling my overly witty colleagues that history is now in the hands of someone with an IQ lower than 70. You should see their faces.
Russo nods slowly.
Aha. If I've got this right, you want to know what I think about it all?
I do.
Not many would agree with me. But I consider Maelstrom a cool and valuable resource. It
I like
should
that
be
she
preserved
knows
for the
how to
sake
try
of
to talk to me.
science and divided into controllable zones with various characteristics.
Okay, you know, people live in those zones, right?
I hope this concept isn't too difficult for you to grasp. I suspect the word concept itself is too much for you.
Henrietta looks at you with frustrated hope.
Quack, quack, waddle, waddle. Okay, so we do have a personal box here we can use. Carmine Heights has got to be around here somewhere. This looks very Carmine Heights-ish, the colors, and the fact they just have reagents sitting around for me. Well, I mean, probably not for me, and it is just salt. But, you know, They left it out. It's not bolted down, and, well, I'm taking it. So, yeah, Russo, no, we're not turning the dome into a gigantic science experiment. I love the thought. I mean, that is something that a heartless scientist might suggest. You know, if you were, as a scientist, to say, hey, this would be a cool idea, but we probably shouldn't do it, it'd be a fun thing to discuss. But no, people live here, and they can't even move away. You know, it'd be different, a little different, not like wildly different, but it'd be a bit different if these people had the option of, not living here, but they don't. They can't leave the dome, and you want to turn it into one giant science experiment, and, no matter how ethical you think it's going to be, yeah, no. Employee, I'm Emma Howard, Carmine Heights sales representative. If you need high-tech weapons and ammunition, please come see me without delay. What do you... Oh, there it is. There's the torpedo electrokinetic side glove. That's the one I wanted. So, I'd be surprised if this glove wasn't actually a guaranteed spawn here. This is sort of the holy grail of side gloves, in that side gloves don't really do much. Well, they really don't do much damage, to be honest. They're actually kind of crummy for damage. It is kind of nice they don't use ammo. I mean, they'd be terrible if they didn't. But they're really more about status effects, and this one was the one that lets you teleport enemies around, lets you energize your allies. That's really where the side gloves are, something special. So it wouldn't actually surprise me if it was deliberate that I was able to find that particular set of gloves here. Let's see if these guys have, well, let's be honest, one hug did not fix their marriage.
I smell discord.
We can help Carmine Heights and carry out a social experiment to reach a compromise. What do you think, Senpai?
Well, you're smarter than me, so mental note, social experiment for compromise. Let's do that. If Yoko's suggesting it, it's probably a good idea.
The Reisners are waiting for you by a brightly blazing campfire. You notice something about them has subtly changed. With a broad, happy smile, Olivia hugs you with one arm, and Johann seems less preoccupied than before.
Meow.
When Olivia sees you, an awkward smile appears on her face, an expression not unlike horror.
Okay.
Johann, there's someone here to see you.
She drawls, her eyes fixed on you.
Meow.
She waves her hands in protest.
No, don't even start. Here's my husband. Talk to him if you have something to say.
She really has no patience for this.
Johann gazes at you for a while.
You know, I could certainly use help from someone who can get close enough to Maelstrom. My only concern is the ambiguous results of your work in Carmine Heights. Can I trust you? Or will you screw it all up again?
What are you talking about? I nailed well, okay, I drew a bunch of mustaches all over your opponent's face, but I fixed your water, I helped you build an isosuit. I am offended.
Catching your eye, the head of Carmine Heights raises his hands in conciliation.
Maybe I was really wrong about you. You seem to know how to be careful and serious when it's necessary.
Oh, right, and I threw a bunch of lettuce in his face. I guess that's the thing that happened.
The emulator staff sent some telemetry on Maelstrom. You can use this for everyone's benefit. Set it up to operate in conjunction with the isosuit. Don't worry, I'll tell you what you need to know. A monkey could handle it.
Olivia peeks from behind Johann.
You said it yourself. Maelstrom is a tool. You need to put down those isosuits of yours and deal with the problems that need solving here and now. We need water. We need regular weather patterns. We need to deactivate the field that makes us all infertile.
She gives you a look of faint hope.
I know you can do more than just meow. Listen to my words. Every human being under the dome needs your help.
Your two goals don't actually seem mutually exclusive, but it would be basically inappropriate for us to do anything less than to drop to all fours and run nimbly away, mewing loudly. I don't see why the isosuit can't be done with any of these other things. Yeah, nothing comes to mind.
Hugging her shoulders, Karma Ishkwani paces nervously around the camp. Karma pretends you don't exist.
Leave on all fours, proudly. Why did you even come? And lastly, we have the fops, and luckily she hasn't brought her her bodyguard that I have to censor. Let's first have a peek at what their vendor has. Wow, that's a look and a half. Hello, I'm Grzegorz. I am Greg. I have a bunch of all sorts of sharp and blunt things for sale: cutters, breakers, pokers, crushers, pickers. He ponders a little. No pickers available. Sorry. What are you on about? What weapons? These are folks' crafts. You don't understand anything. Here, take a look. Okay, so he's got. Ooh, this could be interesting. So it's a different bladed weapon and lacks the coolness of my Ultra Mega Machete of Death. But unlike the Ultra Mega Machete of Death, this is a 3 AP weapon instead of a 5. Does less than half the damage, although with a bigger critical modifier. I'm going to remember this is here, but not buy it on the spot.
Kinsblood. Maelstrom is burning in their eyes.
Switching to high alert mode.
So, Victoria, what's with the guillotine?
A roughly nailed together wooden stage hangs over the yelling and shifting crowd of fops. A makeshift guillotine with an enormous blade standing on top of it. Standing on the scaffold, Victoria points her finger at you, and the crowd quiets down gradually. One by one, the fops turn to look at you.
You caused enough damage to us, Knight. I can give an order and all my people will rush to tear you into pieces. But I'm thinking now, maybe you could render me a service. Consider it. You have a couple of minutes before you die.
The Queen dangles her legs from the scaffold's edge and swings them nonchalantly.
So why do all these factions seem to think that I totally screwed them over? Is it because I chatted with Nakamura? I mean, that's the one that Yoko warned me about. You'd think that it would have to be more than just I chatted with her. Either way, they all seem to think that I've harmed them in some way. Let's start dancing a Highland jig to convince her that I haven't?
Victoria looks over at her associates.
The Knight wants to help. Excellent.
Tilt your head and hop a couple times. What on earth does she want?
Victoria looks at the guillotine.
This is as obvious as it is right, Knight. You will carry me to the Maelstrom.
Well, okay, but my price is candy.
The young woman claps her hands.
Great. Trump, elephant.
She says to a nearby fop wearing a gas mask with a long dangling trunk.
The time of the final speech has come. Hey, all of you, listen to your queen's address.
Legrand steps back from the edge of the scaffold and adjusts her crown. She throws her head back and stares at the guillotine blade frozen against the sky. She looks over the crowd of fops, standing straighter.
My beloved subjects, when we started our great expedition following the leaving Maelstrom, I used to ask myself, how did it all begin? Not the expedition, but the events before it. How did we all happen to come together? Several sleepless nights and some candy floss gave me the answer. We are together because each of us always had a penchant for power and had the innate feeling of where to find it.
She approaches the edge of the stage again, hovering above her army.
A crowd is power, and therefore the crowd we form is growing bigger each day. Knives and guns are power, and therefore we have loads of them. Maelstrom is power, and therefore we followed it, found it, and it won't escape us ever again.
Accompanied by the fops' excited yells, Victoria points her finger at the maelstrom spinning above the ruined remnants of Concord.
Power is the answer to any question, the solution to any problem. If you dwell on a scrap of land on the west, you will only need power to take over the entire dome.
If you have strange dreams of a past, you can neither remember nor forget properly. You only need power to create a present where no past would matter.
With that, Victoria kneels before the guillotine.
Come, Knight.
She says softly, settling on the apparatus wooden bedding.
When it is over, carry me to the maelstrom.
Metal rings hold her arms tightly. Raising her head for the last time, Victoria cries, addressing the crowd.
My beloved subjects, today I will go to the maelstrom to bring its power to you.
The sharp guillotine blade drops with a whistle and a clang. Victoria's chopped off head bounces right into your hands.
Good catch.
The crowd of fops behind you bursts out with exultation.
Ha-ah!
You know, if you'd asked nicely, I might have, just let you come with me on your own volition.
Don't touch the corpse. That's Queen's property.
Well, I don't think the Queen cares anymore. If she just wanted to walk in there with me, Fox and Yoko were able to come in, and the fops have never really helped me, but I probably would have let her come along, maybe, if she had candy. So the storytelling here clearly alludes to the fact that this is the final area of the game. I will be doing it in the next episode. I would like to have a quick moment to talk about this build. I was not expecting the melee build to go over quite so well, and using both perception and brains as a dump stat gave me an incredible amount of AP, an incredible amount of damage, made me incredibly dangerous and very survivable. Criminal made this a heck of a lot easier. The first time I played through the game, I did Criminal later. I had brains of 10 run to start out with, because normally that's what you do in these games, right? You start out with the one that's going to give you the most perk points. Not realizing that when you have brains of 0, you can take Savant, which gives you just an incredible amount of perk points, enough that it basically offsets it. But Criminal changes the whole thing, makes it so that money's just never a problem. As for Yoko and Fox, well, Fox was good. It's unfortunate that the As a Bag of Hammers rule set takes away the conversations that you can have with your companions. Normally in this game, you have flushed out relationships with your companions. That just doesn't happen with this particular story. But Fox was pretty decent to have around. Not as much of a frontliner as I would like, and the side glove doesn't do as much damage as I would like, but still worked just fine. And Yoko obviously being weak, although I managed to keep her out of combat completely, I think. Well, she took a couple hits, but for the most part, she never got close to dying, other than the odd mine that I walked into, but that's on me. Her ability to continuously deal moderate damage with impunity, and indeed to kill some enemies before they even got close enough to my party. This team wound up being fantastic. So I'm very happy with this. I'm very happy with all that went. I will be going back into Concord to save the day or doom us all. Who knows? Because my character has not decided yet. We'll find out what that is in the next episode, and I will see you then.